What's up, YouTube? This is True Raw 4 TV. All right, so before I get into this video, I want to give a big shout out to the brother, a real one, for a donation to the channel via the Cash App. Much respect to him for showing love. Look, we don't always agree with everything, and I don't mind people putting out constructive criticism. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it is, That's what family do. Family, we can be honest with one another. We can be honest and explain and express how we feel. But at the end of the day, it's never beef. It's never no beef and sensitivity and none of that stuff, man, So salute to you. All right, so BSPN has come out with their yearly player ranking. And somehow, some way, LeBron James, according to them, is the 7th best player in the NBA. The 7th best. He's ahead of his own teammate, Anthony Davis, who comes in at number 11. He's ahead of Joel Embiid, who's having a historic season before he got hurt. He's ahead of Kevin Durant. And Austin Reeves, I think, is at number 72 or something on this list. So there's 3 guys on this list that are at least in the top 75 on ESPN ranking. And then you got D'Lo, who is capable of playing at an all-star level, right? So there's 4 dudes that they have as an all-star level player, right? So look, the only guys that are ahead of him on this listing, right? The only guys that are ahead of him are Nikola Jokic, Luka Doncic, Giannis, Shea, Tatum, and Curry. Now, those top 5 dudes were all at some point in time MVP candidates last year. So what they're telling us is a damn near 40-year-old who don't play a lick of defense anymore, who cannot impact a game for the most part, at least sustained, as far as winning, can't carry a franchise anymore. By the numbers, Anthony Davis has been more impactful. Matter of fact, I believe he led the team in win shares last year. Anthony Davis, you can make an argument, should have been in the running for Defensive Player of the Year last year, if I remember something correctly. Had his most consistent season in a long time last year. Played in 76 games last year. But LeBron James is ranked ahead of him. I tell you, man, the media, the NBA, why even watch the NBA if it's this rigged at this point? This guy going into his 22nd season, and you're trying to tell me he's the 7th best player in the NBA? I tell you, man, it's more about narratives than anything else. He gets all this credit. In the Olympics, he did play well. But the media did what they did. We know what we saw. But somehow Steph Curry was erased from the picture again. This is what they do. Somehow retroactively, LeBron, we already heard people say this. We already heard LaShields out there say LeBron carried that team on his back. How often do you got to keep saying that, bro? Like, it's bad enough you should do that with his teams and you disrespect his teammates. But now you're doing it on the Olympic grand scale. You're making it about him, this narcissist, La Homelander, L'Apocalypse. You make it all about him every time. And then when people push back on this, you want to call us haters. But I'll say this. You want to say this is the 7th best player in the NBA. You want to say AD's the 11th best player, I guess. You want to say, all these guys. By the way, How is Derek White the 39th best player in the NBA? But he has a deal with Nike. Jaylen Brown, I believe, does not. A lot of this is politics. Matter of fact, all of this is politics. It's BS. Like I said, how was LeBron ranked ahead of Joel Embiid? Now, for those who say, but he only played 39 games, fine. But why did a LaShield like Gilbert Arenas say that shouldn't matter? Remember? He says about impact, not participation. The games he played in, he was historically impactful. Okay, then. Well, if that's the case, why is LeBron ranked ahead of Joel Embiid? See how they pick and choose? See, when you compare a player that they like against LeBron, then all the talking points they had before, they were positive about that player, go out the window. But fine, you know what? Even though we know this is bullshit, fine. LeBron James is the 7th best player in the NBA, according to BSPN. Okay? So let's remember this. Let's keep this in all of our collective memory banks, because this is the play they do every year. This is the cycle. They go into the season, all these capping ass expectations and proclamations, and then as the season progresses and the team, fails to live up to those expectations, then we hear he needs help. How many times have we heard this over the past 22 years? At least 18 of those 22 years. He needs help, right? He needs help. Then somebody becomes a scapegoat. Then he gets excuses for low managing or whatever the case may be. Then he gets an injury excuse. There's always some nondescript, unclear injury that he's suffering from that somehow the media never able to figure out. The media can figure out anybody else's business. The media can determine what species of snake farted in Afghanistan, how long the fart was it a wet fart? Was it a dry fart? Was it stinky? They can determine all these types of things. But nobody can figure out exactly what's going on with LeBron and his injuries. And then when the season ends, the cycle begins, the new cycle. The season ends, scapegoats are, pilloried or jettisoned, other teams are fired or whatever the case may be, and the process begins. So this is what we're going to do. We can't let them off the hook now. We don't want to hear here in year 22. He's 40 years old. Oh, y'all, I want to hear none of that. None of it. If you got him as the 7th best player in the NBA, then stay on that. Stop pivoting. Stop moving the goalposts. You got a guy that's a top 7 player, according to them, and another guy that's top 11. Right? Austin Reeves, D'Lo. Oh, and by the way, of course, Jenny Busline. When I say Busline, I'm talking about va-va-va-voom. Boom, 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 boom. Those headlights. But Jenny Busline hired the supposed guru of, the new guru of coaching, JJ Redneck, the most brilliant coach this game has ever seen, the Einstein of coaching, the Stradivarius of strategy. They hired him, okay? So they had no excuses. You got the most brilliant coach ever in the history of coaching, according to him and the LeBron fans. You got number 7 ranked LeBron, number 11 ranked Anthony Davis, number 72 ranked Austin Reeves, D'Lo, who's usually an all-star level player when he plays well, even though he's streaky. They had no excuses. You essentially got the same team from last year. So we don't want to hear no excuses when they're 27 and 32. even though they're gonna get all the favorable calls, even though they're gonna shoot 1,000 more free throws than any other team in the NBA. We don't want to have no excuses. Even fewer back-to-backs than last year. Excuses for low managing. We know that's coming. No defense being played by a certain guy, but they're never gonna call that out. So they got no excuses. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. We gotta remember this. Keep it in your memory bank. Remember this: October 17th, 2024. Keep this in your memory banks. BSPN themselves told you and told me that this guy's the 7th best player in the NBA coming into this season. So we don't want to hear Kendrick Perkins. We don't want to hear Molly Curran or Shannon Sharp especially making any excuse about age. If these guys are healthy, want to hear no excuses. Oh, man. I mean, look, Stephen A., LeBron James, guy's 39 years old. Guy going on 40 years old. He's playing exceptional, but you can't expect this guy. We don't want to hear none of that. You got him ranked right behind MVP caliber players. Even Steph Curry for a while was playing at MVP pace. We don't want to hear none of that. So anyway, that's all I got to say about it. That picture is insane, man. Dream, 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 dream. Dream, dream, dream when I love you in my heart and I love you. I don't remember the lyrics, but all I have to do is dream, 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 dream.